Hey there, Rebus here. A friend and viewer asked me to take a look at this game. I had a look before, if I remember to. There'll be a video popping up somewhere around the top of the screen. That was when the game was still pre-alpha. Now it's just reached early access, so I thought I'd have another peek. I do have a bit of a backlog of requests from people, but most people seem to most people seem to sadistically suggest me play role-playing games that I'm going to need to spend like 20 to 40 hours playing before I can get a review out. Almost to the point where it starts feeling like people just don't want me to release reviews. So first off, what is Universim? I wish my planet was in the sunshine for this. Well, there's no need to wish that we were in the sunshine. Let's simply change the season. And we're still not in the sunshine. Okay, it changes the season, but not the time of day. Fair enough. Anyway, what is Universim? Universim is a village building game and a god game, as you saw with my season changing power. I can also make people fall in love with one another, which helps with sorting out your population early on in the game. I also have the choice to do rain and wind at my people, but that seems self-destructive, so I've never done that. Let's have a look. Let's see what that's all about. Okay, I'm probably going to regret this, but this is for my art. Yep, I regret doing it. It's just made it harder to film. Anyway, so what is Universim? Oh god, why did I make the windstorm happen? Universim is a village building sim, a bit like Banished or anything like that, but with god powers, making it feel a bit like Populus. Your main purpose seems to be to help manage your people up to as high a population as possible. There's going to be quite an extensive tech tree, if what is currently in the game is any indication. This only takes us up to, I'd say, the Industrial Revolution, thereabouts. So, you know, that's looking quite interesting. Apparently it's going to go all the way up to the Space Age, and I think I might have heard something about colonizing space at some point, but that seems pretty far-fetched. Anyhow, back to the village I subjected a windstorm upon. It's all about helping out your little nuggets, who can sometimes find themselves not being necessarily the most efficient bunch. I had still hoped this game was going to be much more organic, and you were like only really able to influence your civilizations with god powers, and like they'd maybe make war with each other and all of that. I've come to terms with it just being a village building sim, and it does pretty well at what it sets out to, once you accept it's not going to be some sort of magic genre-defying god game. Some things I like are the graphics, and some things that I don't like about the graphics is the way the buildings will just sort of very much appear to be just stuck on the land. There's not very much aside from the buildings to suggest that we're actually in some sort of living space. Wow, there's lots of dings and bells and notifications. I'm going to see if I can turn that off. Either way, even though this isn't quite the game I imagined it was going to be, I'm a big fan of the genre, so I've had some good fun getting myself to this point. This is my second village, and I've spent 12 hours playing it since it's been released on Steam, which has just been this village and my previous one. So I'd say there's a reasonable amount of mileage for an early access experience. Do wonder about this fellow though. I mean, I kind of feel like this would be me, just like somehow having settled over here inexplicably. Oh no, no one lives here. I'm not shocked. I might delete that because it's not very practical. It's quite the walk to get food. But yeah, I mean, nice looking game. Could definitely do with more paths and streets. You know, as you develop technologically, it would be nice to have like some stone roads being built between your houses. Because it all just looks a little bit just plonked on. The main opponent still seems to be the existence of winter. And maybe a few wild animal attacks. And the odd disaster here and there. Upgrading can be a bit tedious. But you know what's really nice is that the windmills turn to face the direction of the wind. I was worried about placement because I hate my windmills not facing the right direction. So I put that one at this angle, but then I was relieved to discover that the whole windmill turns. That pleases me a lot. I say this, but the wind currently is coming from this direction, and these little windmills here don't seem to be acknowledging that. So yeah, sorted out game. I came here to say something nice about your windmills, and now they're all just showing me up. Well, once you turn off the notifications, it all starts feeling quite spooky, doesn't it? It seems to have gotten a lot easier since the early access, but that may well be because there were bugs before that prevented progress. I managed to keep this population running with 2 fishermen and 1 farm, which feels a little bit on the easy side. But yeah, all in all, really nice village building game. Ignore that early trailer where you got to be a disheartened planet, because that really isn't the experience the game offers. Play with the right expectations though, and I think you'll have a lot of fun with this. Also, because I was an early access backer, my username is in the game. If anyone ever gets a Rebus forever in any of their villages, send me a screenshot, please. I want screenshots of my nugget. Oh god, that sounds bad. Had a few bugs here and there, like invisible people, which is a bit of a shame, because one of the joys of getting your population really high is seeing them all milling around. But yeah, doesn't it look nice? I'm really looking forward to getting like skyscrapers and such. I want to see all of this in the modern world. Since early access, there's been a bunch of new missions that your followers come and ask you to fulfill. The god powers seem to make a lot more sense. There's a lot more buildings. The tech tree is massive by comparison. And there's a lot more gameplay before you start feeling as though you've sort of got all you can from the experience as it stands. I am looking forward to this being patched. And I don't know, maybe now you can too. Special thanks to my 2 Patreon supporters who have made buying a couple of games a lot more possible. And to everyone else, I'm getting a lot closer to 300 subs. Like, you know, make that happen. And thanks to everyone that checked out the Not Just a Toy video. That's going to be a format that I start doing more frequently. But yeah, Universe Sim.